So ZETA have their work cut out here.
They do, and really I just want to touch on the compositions quickly. Still keeping this Astro, the double controller, which the desk just leaned on. I want to see a couple more traps set up. For the way that G2 were playing, and ZETA's ability to address in terms of, I guess, just fighting fire with fire, right? They were looking to challenge some of this early pressure in mid. I want to see them make use of a couple of very, very key traps. I mean, specifically towards short and hooker, maybe even showers, but looking like actually they might look for some very deep short control here. Depth straight down. Fight two.
Let's go. Okay, we're off to a fiery start here. I guess that's one way to do it. Just instantly put G2 on the back foot. Nuki still stands, but not for long. You got 3 players to fight. The pistol round looking heavily likely as those frenzies. What on earth? Hoodie! How did you just get 3? Well, I guess it's fine. They were fine all along.
I just... They line up perfectly. It's heartbreaking to see ZETA lose 3 in that manner, but now Laz and Sugar left to try and recover this, and Meadow
The audacity. The audacity just pushes back in. Okay, well, I thought ZETA had done enough.
That's how you win a 2v5, I guess. Again, the timing is absolutely devastating for them. A nice little set piece down, like I said. It's really looks like they just wanted to take absolute control. This is the lineup.
Bad? Oh, it was pretty atrocious.
It was pretty bad.
Okay, like from the other POV, I thought they were like relatively okay on the swing around, but apparently not. Well,
that's a tilter.
Map 2, yeah.
That's a tilter as well.
That was the start that they dreamed of, right? That would have been perfect. Now, correct stack, but we know the weapons they come in with. So you're hoping for the best. And already the utility just poured in. Good flashes though. Avova's blind, but Mixwell safe in keeping them under control. There's now just Sugar 0. Gonna get 1, but that's about it. Quick round 2. No messing here from G2.
Let's see how many. Yeah, so Mixwell 2 off the tour de force already. Potential for that to be online in this round or the next. Just going to throw through and maybe just run the Headhunter here. And whether or not that's just to build up a little bit of a buffer here and rely on that tour de force, whether or not they make a play for the orbs here. We're really looking for ZETA to close this one out, coming in with a full bite. G2 actually, I mean, really comfortable in terms of the next purchase. And that's with 2 rifles in this round. 3 if you include the Guardian.
Look at the pace again. Nuki just happy to go. Unleashing. There's a lot of players here though. Gonna get caught by 10. It's already Nuki's gonna stay in hand, at least for now for ZETA, but look at what they've lost in the meantime. But he's taking the space over towards Long, but he's caught in between both of them. Barrel's shown. Mitchell knows his players here. Prepared for one, couldn't convert on the second. Trade comes out. The numbers still sit favorably towards ZETA.
Depth just tucked into the corner. That spike revealed. Meadow, last man standing with the Guardian, just spots the rifle. Deal with Crow. I mean, anybody else falls from ZETA here, it's a little concerning.
And concern, because he's on 82 HP. Yes, spammed out a little lower now, but a 1v2, it's not impossible. He's got 50 seconds still to toy around with. Yeah, the spike's position's not great, but he knows where these 2 players reside. A little bit of utility as well, could facilitate the drop. See what he can do with this. They're waiting on the other side, going to hear the drop. They've got to know what's up. Doesn't get the clean fight he wanted, and Depth does well, but you're right. After what was looking quite like a clean round there for ZETA, actually gets brought down to just 2 remaining.
Again, early intention shown from ZETA here in terms of challenging this hooker control as well. You see straight away G2, I mean, they're eager to just find something off on the back of Nuki rolling through, but the awareness there, that kill in particular on Hoodie after he did drift through Long. Yeah, much calmer in the comms now. Sounding a bit more composed. We'll see what G2. Now, I mean, it's looking like B is the target once again.
Let's play.
Mixwell did actually get the tour de force available, so put that to work here.
Exchange of utility on either side, but you can see already the respect being shown. Pro's going to fall back a little, keep putting utility in, but he knows where they're coming from. They need to hit this rotation and relatively quick. Still have a player towards Suka though, so they've not completely lost control, but they've shown presence. They've hit the brakes for a second.
Still around is just Laz to contest Nuki. Also, the ping's coming through already.
What a
see
fight.
that.
I've got your trail.
Okay. After that pause for thought, they're going to invest the Seekers, but they still yet to really work off the back of it just now. Mixwell going to lead the charge. Nuki still being held away for a moment more. As the first fight happens towards elbow, and it's a shutdown, it's a shutout. Yeah, Meadow still standing. Oh my word, that snap!
Spike down, B.
Sharp! But it matters not, as now it's just Nuki. And maybe I should never say just Nuki, as we saw what that one rifle could do in the final round of the last map, but this would be a challenge. Tucked just under that balcony ledge. Certainly no Romeo and Juliet at this point, but Nuki desperate to try and get into this. Goes for the first, closes the gap, gets the kill, and now on 1v2, surely not to be, as Crow finds it. And again, it's not clean from ZETA, but it is a round. Tied up now at 2-2.
I mean, that's actually a great hold from ZETA. Again, you can see it's so risky to just leave one person, because there's always the possibility that G2 are going to stack up and just death ball into either garden or hooker. Great patience shown by Nuki, but I think just misses the timing in terms of when this contact comes towards long. He's not really forced Laz any further back. G2 will be reset a little bit. Actually, this is almost the one where you'd hope Mixwell would have had to tour de force. We'll throw a rifle in the mix. Full armor as well, actually, so probably going to be the front man. ZETA, a massive adjustment here, because it's an A stack with 4. I feel like they just spin the wheel here at this point. Laz is the only one towards B site. No pressure coming through towards hooker. Meadow going to show a little bit of presence towards short. But again, still 3 people here to hold it down.
I was going to say, they're probably going to feel the lack of presence from Crow's utility, but feel the presence of that pistol in the hand. Going to take Crow down, but still favourable to ZETA with those weapons. It was clear close. Reveals Depth's position. Slow comes in. Laz now turns attention as well. Buying a little bit of time. Smoke goes deep CT. But again, ZETA holding for a couple more seconds. And the grand reveal spots them out. Spots out a second. Oh, it's target practice right now! And Depth wins it all. Gorgeous, gorgeous shots coming out from ZETA. And we've said these guys can brawl, right? They are aim heavy. They are firepower power heavy at times. We hadn't seen that completely. We saw, you know, a lot of glimmers of it in the last map. But this, again, is just a stark reminder of the caliber of these two teams.
And again, actually the replay starts with Nuki hitting a really crisp shot on the jump peak here, but Depth lines him up. Great discipline just to commit to the taps there. Closes them out once again. Another B-site hold, which, again, I don't want to say it's concerning for G2, but to be shut out comfortably a couple of times here may force them to explore elsewhere on the map. And again, they really learned an awful lot in terms of the setup of ZETA on A site. Looks like this might be the round that try and figure something out.
First time they get to see this look, and we know how notorious it can be. Mixwell gonna facilitate the trade coming in, taking down Depp. And Sugar Zero still gonna hold control towards Lamps. 10 deep control as well towards CT and a quick execution of the Bobo.
Slight overstep, to be honest.
Again, actually pop the ult. Nuki right back at him.
Some more gymnastics from Nuki to avoid the showstopper here.
Ridiculous. This
See
man.
what he can do in this position.
I mean, he's got to become the turret, right? He's trying to hold the line for them. They're trying to allow that plant to come in, create a little bit of safety, because they obviously don't have Lamps control right now. They have a very limited slice of the map.
Good awareness from G2 not to force their way into that as well.
Yeah.
There's a judge on the other side. Exactly, yeah.
Cutting this site almost in a new way.
Laz has got past the traps though, so keep your eye on the minimap if that late flank does become a problem.
The timing on this is going to have to be right down to the wire if they want to try and make the most of it. That's perfect, though. Finding Nuki, but there is a quick trade. Hoodie gets caught, though. Timing not good enough. Mixwell quickly catches as they try and make their way through, and Mixwell with a follow-up. And now do they dare expect it? He just got him!
There's no time. Oh. Reads the sound cue perfectly, though.
Oh, man.
Again, it's tough for Laz because ultimately when those kills come through on site, he then has to put his foot down. He has to go. Another close round. G2 actually closed this one out. After I was saying that, it felt like a little bit of an overstep from Revolver there. I don't think that was too influential in terms of the outcome, but
it's different, Laz. Timeout comes in. And I've seen a couple of looks now coming out from G2, so they could now start really dissecting what's tangibly in front of them.
Well, this is, I mean, in terms of prep, I know, again, the desk touched on this, is G2's bind game plan is usually fairly linear.
Yep.
So this could be something that does force a bit of adjustment from ZETA. Now, previous round, they did look to get a little aggressive outside hooker. That gave, ultimately, Laz the space to flank all the way through cave. Unfortunately, it didn't really benefit them too much, but they do find a little space. I do want to see them continue with that. Again, pressure the backline of G2. Because ultimately, everything's going right in terms of the pressure that G2 are able to create towards long. Even though ZETA are relying on these straight-up angels almost when contact comes through. But no, again, no address towards showers just yet from either side, other than Nuki coming through and finding 1 kill in the previous, but they were spread pretty thin in that default. So interested to see here whether or not this timeout is actually going to prompt any change for ZETA. I'll keep my eyes here. Laz actually now will take up position towards A site instead. Actually, he's got 3 friends over here as well if Depp decides to stay. Now, do G2 read the change in utility here? See a couple of bits of after utility popped outside shower as well, so whether or not this is going to be an all-out hold or got the snake bite to back this up as well.
Back and forth here of utility. Sugar Zero not quite giving away the game yet either. Cards close to the chest. Shower will remain in control now. Vova's going to hit that TP. Gets himself up towards heaven. Now this bodes poorly for ZETA as they got 2 players stuck in towards a shower and the rotation could be potentially now cut off. Looking isolated in the ult, even to allow the cross with the spike. This is tough for ZETA. Oh, an early read towards where 10's position could be, and wow. Super quick from 10.
Doesn't pull Nuki off showers though. That's important because Sugar's still posted up. Laz, still aware of the possibility of Over stuck there, and actually they come through to try and clear it. What? Is that one passed?
He has no idea. Oh my god! Hoodie turns around and still gets the other. I don't think he saw him. I don't think he saw him on the cross. And now Depp is in the weirdest spot here to try and handle it. Traded out by Crow. Seekers come through. Hoodie left in a 1v2. High flash came out from Crow on the other side, but doesn't find what they want. Spike now recovered. 8 seconds for the flash to be back, but he wants that spike down. He wants at least a time on his side. Now the flash came through, did not find anything. Allows that first step towards this retake. Flash to hand now for Hoodie. Repositioned to be able to catch this cross. Harder to clear and no flashes to do so. Its body's on the line. He's going to find one, and the spacing not good enough for a quick trade out. It's now a bit labored on the spray, but Hoodie does well. And I do not know how he got into showers like that.
The Red Bull clutch from Hoodie. The timing on that flash is crazy. I'm not sure if we're going to have the benefit of a replay here, but Laz tucks into the corner just to avoid that angle from heaven. See, he doesn't clear it. Again, it doesn't end up biting them. What a round from Hoodie, though. That's actually crazy timing for Laz. But the awareness from ZETA as well to still hold on to that setup. The awareness to still be cautious of heaven. They don't drift out of showers. They absolutely double down on that control.
Yeah, rightly so. We look in now, what purchase is going to be left for ZETA. It's not ideal. 2 rifles. Stinger coming out for Sugar Zero and odds and ends. And on the other side, good enough, but not perfect either. And a quick take towards Hookah. A little bit of a switch up here, a little bit of a different look, but 3 players making their way through from shower. You can see that instant crunch towards Meadow. So backline now looking a little vulnerable for G2. They have to be aware of this. There's a time limit on what they can do here.
That's even more concerning. Sugar Zero can find another kill. 10 now, still with a boombot. He's got a teammate on hand here. Are they going to wrap him?
Well, I think they were expecting that potentially ZETA kept pushing round, going almost in towards G2's side. They didn't expect him here, and they didn't expect that shot. Oh, he gets another! Unreal performance, but Hoodie, can you do it again? You don't fancy it with this sort of walk coming in, not going to happen. Laz is waiting, and ZETA are always dangerous.
I mean, I called it. This is exactly what I want to see from ZETA. They find a little bit of space, and they make it work for them in a round that actually they bring barely anything into.
Yeah.
They punish G2, and yeah, absolutely. I'm going to call the timeout here, because they need to address it. This is the problem with G2's kind of game plan here. If it is all in, and it usually is 4, potentially 5 people, if they can find that weak spot, which in this case it is Meadow.
God, the aim on these players.
It's tough because now G2's just a depth man. He's looking so good on bind so far.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
But G2 have to adjust. They have to address this. Whether or not they slow this down now for a couple of rounds, I mean, the economy, I don't want to say ruined, but dwindling for sure. Mixwell got that tour de force online, 4,100. But elsewhere, gaps.
Yep. Now, the one thing with G2, let's kind of bring it back into the realm of reality of, you know, when we talk about honeymoon periods and roster changes and players coming back in, you do lose a little bit of that potential depth to adjustment because you're still working on maybe new protocols, new looks, working with a newish system. I do want to see how G2 look when they are pushed, when it's come to not necessarily, you know, mid-honeymoon period where you just, you know, everything's feeling good, right? You can't make a wrong move. So I do want to see, be it with ZETA here, potentially pushing him to that extent on a map that they are historically very strong on. I do want to see how G2 look when they have to adjust. Haven't seen too much of it just yet. Obviously, the first day they've come to this tournament, so we haven't seen them push to that extent. But that's something to really keep in your mind as you go and watch these guys further into this event, is how do they look when they've been pressured? How do those adjustments coming back in look? How's the coaching looking? Does it seem that they have the correct answers, even in mid-rounds as well? A lot of question marks still around G2, but obviously you have to respect the results they've garnered recently. Back into this, though, we're at 4-4.
And ZETA will look to control showers early on here. Mixwell with the tour de force, going to try and find something. Hoodie elsewhere with a Marshall. But the Viper's Pit invested here actually to cover both sides of entry onto B's site. It does give them control of, I guess, the hooker dropout and towards Garden, but Looking again investing a hero rifle here. We know how influential that was in the closing out of map 1.
There.
And G2 doing exactly what I said. They're slowing things down just a little bit. But this round, ZETA, I mean, reading the purchase pretty well. They don't want to overstep the mark. Give away a freebie here. I mean, look at this. There's 45 seconds left. They're just now coming back towards A. No information whatsoever.
No.
And ZETA can just tuck in.
Yeah, there's still explosive potential though with G2, so... And everything we say...
Nice!
Real quick, just stuck around living in that second between death and life and took one with him.
30 seconds left.
Mixwell has taken the space back. Boombot dealt with, unfazed by it. Oh, Hoodie, what a shot. Sugar Zero gone, and there's now danger aplenty in Mixwell. He ain't stopped. He slowly crept to the back line here. But you can see on the other side, it's not without consideration from Depp, but Mixwell is holding this. 12 seconds, they need to get that plant down.
10 seconds left.
Oh, that's unthinkable almost. Now they don't have shower control. Keep that in mind for G2. They have not worked that part out yet, and they don't have the depth of the weapons, but they have the adjustment.
Avova just
from
TP'd
Avova.
into heaven.
He's a madman. He's taken down Depp and he's taken the space. CT is not safe for ZETA to play back in from. They need the other side of this to find value. 10 though, looking to find Mixwell, who's still got that ult popped. Still waiting on the other side. Flash comes in. Don't make the most of it yet. Spots the barrel, spots the player, gets the kill. Slows down Crow, and they're struggling. They can't find a way back into this. ZETA have been outdone on this G2 looking sharp. That's at least going to get maybe a consolation in it, as this is looking like it's wrapped. The time ain't going to have it. And Laz, yeah, you can do the damage, but the round will be G2's.
G2 and Thrifties, man. Again, it looks so comfortable sometimes for them. Put this round out. I mean, Avova taking a leaf out of Marv's book here in the TikTok case, but how he's got away with that team. What is this? What is this?
Come on.
Again, Mixwell able to actually create so much space. The timing was almost, I mean, you just have to close your eyes. That was almost so painful. Didn't result in a kill though. Luckily able to back away and still make use of that tour de force. G2 strike back now.
Oh, I like this aggressive play. Tried to make it work. There was an exchange. Trade back and forth and quick control re-garnered by 10, and he expected the push up of Mixwell. Gets shattered. There's now 3 stand for G2. That early trade out of players. Yes, it takes Crow away, but still.
And this is a big win though, because we talked about this being attempted in a previous round. This time they're rewarded for it. Early advantage here in terms of numbers. Actually, Avova and Meadow trying to find space elsewhere. I'm not sure if Hoodie's even noted yet. I didn't keep my eye on. He's burnt up a flash. The second one back off cooldown now.
Got your trail.
And the Seekers will be invested on B, but not going to learn an awful lot with the placement invested. And already ZETA have got 3 towards A site.
And they heard Meadow spamming like not too long ago.
Hey, look where 10 is.
That fussed, and the spike is down in the back lines. He might spot that. I don't think he noted the spike. I don't think he went too far. Yeah, but does he hear a step? No, Hoodie's taken his time. He is shift walking the entire way. But he's going to be right in between, like no man's land. This is a really weird position. Surely, if he just holds this spot, he's going to have such late round impact. He's surely going to spot a player. He does. There it is. 10 finds.
Hears this now. He
yeah,
hears it.
There's the steps. Now he knows. You can see the call, but he doesn't need support. He's got this all himself. Swings for the fight, and he gets a over as well. ZETA are digging their heels in.
That? He finds an ace, Lauren. And again, it's off this early push out of Hooker. They
little pop flash.
Yeah, they catch G2. G2 weren't here last time that ZETA tried this. Actually, I think Nuki's playing full anti-flash here. So still the awareness of the possibility. A Mixer, unfortunately, I mean, tries to catch him in the slow. What a round from 10, man.
Beautiful work.
Let's just say, yeah, I'm going for it.
I want it. Go for it. What a performance.
Him and Depp, man. Look at 15 and 7, 13 and 6.
And look, I've seen the Laz show. I've seen the Sugar Zero show. I'm glad I get to see a little bit more, right? A little bit of everyone else showing how good these guys are. They're pushing G2 on what is their stronghold. I can't reiterate that enough to you. Already Depp. Gonna find Mixwell. Good start. Mixwell probably trying to find that time again, find that space again. Gets punished for it.
I'm really curious to see actually the first blood counter here, because that's the cornerstone of G2's success here is early advantages and then, like I said, bullying their way onto sites. And here, ZETA already found 3 kills. Mixwell the first to fall. Nuki and Avova, I mean, Avova and 6 HP left in this one. Nuki again with a rifle in hand. One away from the showstopper here. I don't expect it to be invested in this round, but...
One enemy remaining.
Avova now, at 6 HP, looking even more uncomfortable.
You came up with a nice new name for the boombot, Mike. Do you want to share that with the people at home?
There's absolutely no evidence that
don't turn it over.
No.
You have Tommy the Turret written down. And
Barry Boombot. Okay.
Big buzzer. Well, let's see what Barry can do going forward, shall we?
Barry has been pivotal in terms of G2's ability to contest Hooker early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really has.
Really. 6-5, what a game. And this could open... I know this sounds bad, but I want to see that third map. Like, I just want to see Icebox.
That's a good
Please.
Yeah, I mean, we come back to that discussion earlier, as actually G2 going to dial up the pace a little bit here. 10 with an operator looking to hold back down. And the showstopper here.
Wait,
Barry's going to trade off.
No shot!
What?
How does this happen?
10 down to 22 HP.
Still standing. Still standing, still firing, and still holding back G2. They almost got baited into it. Temptation beckoned, and they answered the call, and they merely found 10 on the other side. Still alive and kicking. And this looks like it could be 7-5. I'm just seeing 3 players. You've got Mixwell, Hoodie, and Meadow, and they don't have much like early progress anywhere now. They lost out on that shower fight. They weren't able to take much space back elsewhere, but eyes on the spike. It's over towards B for now.
Toxin screen down.
10 will hear that sound cue. But already this rotation coming towards B side. Viper's Pit invested, but G2 going to drift back towards 8. It's going to be 10 and Crow to hold down the fort. Trailblazers should give it away.
There it is, and instantly they pick up the pace, trying to close the gap. 10 though, how much more can you do? The master of disaster at the start, and he wants a little bit more here. Here's all these steps.
30 seconds left.
It's happening. They're taking the site away from him, but he's still waiting around on the other side. A little bit of utility invested, but surely he knows it's on guarding that spike plant. Flash comes in. It was a fake flash, but he's still unable to make the most of it. Mixwell takes him down. Rez comes in. 10's back up. Can they make the most of him with a second life? No trade-off back. Actually, tell a lie. Sugar Zero found Meadow in the meantime, and now 2. Mixwell and Hoodie make it just Hoodie, and he's a mile away, and he can't even see that spike. The diffuser's coming in. No matter which way you cut it, it's going to be 7-5.
What a recovery from ZETA. Honestly, the adjustment perfect. And actually, on the other side, that G2's adjustment really not suiting them. When they were forced into a deeper default, a more traditional setup in the early round, and they couldn't bully their way in terms of territory control, it really did not look good, Lauren. It really didn't.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of dumbfounded by this half because ZETA have looked sharp on this. I really like how they're looking, and they are pushing G2 to the limit, and that is a great indicator for the second half. But before we get there, we're back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypok, and of course Barry as well. Barry the Boombot doing really well that half. But when we went into that game, Bren, you said if ZETA can pull it close, that
they can make it even. There's hope.
Yes, but they're leading.
They are leading right now. This is such a good sign for them, and now they need to take it home moving forwards. Honestly, because it is set up for them to bring this to map 3.
Yeah, completely, and it's very complicated, you know, to actually force G2 to change their plans completely. They force them to dance around the map and do things that they were not ready to do. And we need to highlight Hoodie because I think he's trying to fight to be one of the flags of the moment. He wants to be put out there. He wants us to talk about him and his performance, not only on map 1 but also on map 2, is being crucial to the team. Still, G2 wasn't feeling comfortable at all in executing.
Yeah, I mean, Hoodie's had some amazing, impactful moments over the course of the series thus far, and sometimes you need a little bit more of that, honestly, because it does feel like ZETA Division, they've corrected a lot of their mistakes coming into this. They are one of the teams that's making the fastest improvements with each match that they play. They learn a lot off the DRX match as well in terms of this. I mean, this was a ridiculous opening. That is okay. Sometimes you get glimpses of the little misplays, you know, that the spacing wasn't quite there, and they're not covering for them. Blast somehow let somebody go past. But ultimately, ZETA Division are not a team that you can just come into this with. I'm not going to say zero preparation because that would be quite disrespectful to G2, but I still think that ZETA Division are a team that you have to respect.
Yeah, completely. I don't know what to expect from the second half, because the problem is that ZETA Division's not only movement but aim is 100% on point. Like the plays that we are seeing, both 10 and Deb, it's just insane the plays that they're managing to pull. If they can do the same, if we see 10 exploding onto B, onto A, it doesn't matter, but eating all that space that G2's going to be so afraid to keep.
So what I'm hearing is...
We're going to get the Xbox that you wanted to.
We got some believers on the desk now.
I really want to see this go to map 3.
Did we see the same half? How are you not a believer?
I've been a believer since the first minute, you two. But let's see how much our belief is going to pay off because Pansy and Hypok, we got to have the second half.
Hopium levels at an all-time high, right? Like, we are absolutely huffing that in right now because there is a chance, but it is 7-5, and there is a very solid reason that G2 are respected on this map. So, again, I wait with bated breath here.
I'll say, I almost, you know, there's 2 rounds there, the pistol and the hoodie clutch, so you'd say should have gone ZETA's way.
Yes.
He actually immediately hit. The challenge, and actually will face off with 10, but Sugar good for the trade. Pinch comes through, Hoodie going to get caught off as well. Depp finds another. Mixwell in response, it's fast.
It's pacey. It's super pacey, but look at what's left remaining, too. Over towards Long. Spotted. Mixwell's going to see one at least pushing up here, knowing that they're around, but look at the aggression. Crow! Oh, he tried to make the most of it, and Mixwell's just not letting that happen, as Depp now left all on his lonesome, a 1v3. We saw what could happen before, but surely not going to give him the chance. No, not at all.
Not again, surely.
Not again. 5 HP, not going to get away. Mixwell going to be the guardian of the site and get G2 almost back to all even.
Opportunity here for G2 to tie things up. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Sheriff thrown in the mix here for Depp. He's looked pretty damn good with that weapon so far this map.
Oh, okay.
I love this wall here again. Crow maybe an opportunity to commit to the plant, maybe bait out an extra kill, make that a 2v2, but nice attempt nonetheless.
And G2 have a good land nice, which is important.
And that is crucial, yeah.
Nice. I did his ages earlier, actually quite decent too.
Okay.
I was impressed. Essential, obviously, at this level of play. Coming into this though, we do see the 2 frenzies, so 10 and Sugar Zero, the kind of wants to pack a punch, and Depp as well. Slightly upgraded pistol. Mixwell though starting to go farming. Mixwell getting that confidence looking sky high. He wants to find the rest here, but you don't want to make mistakes. Easy, Tiger. Meadow's just going to be like, all right, bud, relax.
Mixwell's like, let me get the tour de force. Let me get it.
Just hit the brakes for a second. You're good. We're fine.
Enemy
We're
remaining.
fine. There it is. Nuki just going to shut any of the possibilities out of this round. And again, Mixwell is just charging it. He wants to get that online, but Hoodie is the one to claim the final kill. We are back all even now. 7-7. G2 closed the gap instantly.
Semi-expected, but we'll see what ZETA could do here and there by round. Whether or not G2 can make this interesting. Again, a very comfortable buffer behind it. Actually, Mixwell 2 off the tour de force. Elsewhere, no real progress. And ZETA, going to set up fairly default. And Viper wall committed towards A side at least. You see the ping actually coming out immediately here from G2, just to be aware of it. Nuki again going to challenge outside hookup. Trade off for utility just now, but nothing really gained on either side.
But I do like how Nuki's approaching this so far. It's almost that kind of like peacocking style of like just constant showing of presence. If he gets even one out of this, that's pretty great. On the other side, timing could be right. Nah, not going to get away with it. Two very aware players waiting in middle. Gets the punish, and they can hit the brakes for a second here. That's an early pick.
You can see as well, though, Sugar's utility is actually set up to stop Nuki from getting back out, at least safely. He's obviously got the blast backs, but you see the intention there to crunch through. Sugar will actually recall.
Right there.
And no pressure towards A side just yet, and that trap's important in terms of Over and Meadow just not feeling any pressure just yet. And Hoodie's still playing pretty deep on this. Well, 45 seconds left. ZETA have to re-explore a couple of these angles. Nothing on the back of the flash. That could pull a rotation.
Well, Mixwell's leaving.
Yeah, yeah.
And rightly so. If you've got no information at like 40 seconds on a flash towards long like that, you're going to believe, you're going to put faith behind that. So little info shown. Hoodie!
Wait, what?
Is his wrist okay? Someone look after him! I don't know how he just pulled those 2 kills off. Snaps back, but the site is theirs. But it's only 3 of them now. They need to get that spike planted and put up the walls of defense here if you want to see them converted.
That's all 3. They would have heard all 3 TPs.
They've heard the TPs now. Spike down, and it's for a safe enough plant here. The post plants are important. It's deep in towards CT and on towards elbow. Laz might get the first fight on this, but look at the backside. There's not much safety here. Smoke in towards elbow, and the cross and the drop looking pretty safe unless someone takes a high risk maneuver, and it looks like they want to try and maybe make that aggress now. Closing in towards the site, but they don't know where these players reside. There's so much utility on the battlefield right now. Meadow tries to step forward. It's a trade out of overtaking 10 down, but there's Mixwell still standing. The spray from Laz. He needs another. He gets the reveal! Oh, no! But not enough left in the mag, and the defuse for Rovova as G2 take the lead.
I'm thinking their 10 was tucked in so deep in spawn. They should have heard all 3. Yep. I'm fairly confident they should have heard all 3 TPs coming through. Again, I don't agree with, challenging Hooker, but no information on the dropout. I thought Sugar was going to swing on contact, but Mixwell actually tucks himself into cubby. Perfectly there. I mean, let's look at,
2 bullets.
Yeah.
Oh.
Already tagged up as well. It's an easy one for Rovova to clean up.
Well fucking played. Good round.
Well heckin' played.
Well said. Actually, now ZETA back down to, Sheriff's on the board, a Spectre as well, but back down to pennies here. Tour de force invested. Yeah, got to be careful because there's no real utility. We'll have to figure this out here. It's going to be a dry swing. 10 does have the boom bot, but
Right there.
Crow a little bit disconnected, and without that utility to clear out short, Mixwell can just post up here.
Get him.
Nothing to really push G2 off these angles just yet. Invested. Timing's going to be important here. How long does Mixwell hold this? Doesn't quite connect as you'd want. Actually, a little bit of chip damage on the way out. And Meadow, this is a dangerous game you're playing here. You now know that these 2 players down 3. He knows this player's here. He's going to get pinched on that. And again, next one, who else is going to challenge this? It's Nuki this time.
In position to clean this up now. The reset on the paint shell. Laz, last one outside. Going to find a headshot though. Hoodie next in line for G2. As you can see, Depp as well looking to pinch onto Showers here, but Hoodie going to find the crucial kill.
But Mixwell's keeping it safe. Really good adjustment from Mixwell. Not playing too dangerous, kind of keeping that safe distance from it. Just holding Showers safe. That's all he had to do. And Sugar Zero has to try and make a play for it. 12 seconds. And closing the gap would be a big enough problem for him.
left.
And Mixwell is posted on this. And you can see them trying to bait the shot. Does well. Good work for Sugar Zero. Can't make any more of it though. So damage achieved, yes, but the round regardless is going to G2. It's now 9 on the board.
A great face from ZETA as well, just making use of the recoil reset. And then the triple swing is just so much to deal with. Unfortunately, it amounts to nothing. And G2, right now, kind of hitting their stride, I'll be honest, find themselves 2 rounds ahead. ZETA got to stop them now. Nothing behind this purchase for ZETA. Ultimate's just about coming online now. Laz with that Viper's Pit. Sugar, 1 away. 10 and Depp, 2 away, respectively. This is the one ZETA have to put on the board. A mixed one now with the Operator online. A little bit of a pace change here. You can play a lot deeper on the back of this, but still happy to contest long. Depp going to punish it.
Fight, really good fight for Depp there, and you're right, finding Mixwell at the same time is everything. It's Hoodie on an island, he's doing everything he can to just try and stay alive, and he's overwhelmed. No chance of doing it, and look how deep towards CT they've already got control. This could be a save right
absolutely.
now. This is instant. Well, pace change and a half, mate.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one that they needed to make something happen, and actually, you look at it, they've gained the showstopper out of it, gained the res out of it. Sugar Zero still 1 away from the Cosmic Divide. That could be a pivotal round for ZETA.
Punchy. That was so quick.
I think they might have an opportunity. With Mixwell saving on the Tour de Force previously, then buying the Operator, there might be a chance here to at least reduce 3 of the players of G2 down to a save.
You trying to do math on air?
Yeah, I tried to. I've stopped halfway.
Yeah, you really lost commitment on that.
Yeah. I felt confident, and then I was thinking about it.
that's the worst part.
Not so much anymore. Yeah.
Very dangerous game. I've avoided it most of my life. However, it looks like most of these players will be avoiding each other for the rest of the round. I don't know if anyone's close enough to challenge. I think they will be exiting with these rifles as Nuki and Meadow, go undiscovered. So we'll have a look at the purchase coming back in. If there are any glaring issues for G2, it does seem like it can facilitate a purchase enough for now.
Yeah, but I mean, this the problem being, you look at what's behind it here. You've seen the replay again. Really, really nice here. I'm not sure we didn't catch the Mixwell kill. I don't know if he was maybe
kind of backside,
forced off an angle. I think he was on top of Tube initially. But the finances here, I mean, well, 4 people sat below 2K. Showstopper to offset that slightly, so a bit of a bonus for G2. If ZETA tie it up, it could be interesting.
Could be. Meadow instantly.
Meadow?
Meadow's made a meal of it, and he's been punished for it as well. Stuck around a little too long and just was on the receiving end of all that damage.
And this was the exact same setup we saw when they tried to crunch and catch Nuki inside with Sugar's utility early on. It's so simple, but it gets the job done.
Yep. Flash comes in. Okay, they're still around. The play up long's beginning, but look at the early exploration work from that's Nuki on the other side. It is, but now they have to run away. Let's see how far you can make it. Sent to the back wall. The Zekas go out on the other side. It's all about time, and they ain't got much of it anymore. Evoba's still alive, but just being melted down in between the middle of it. Slowed, everything thrown against him. And the last 2 players, we knew they were on that A side. Yes, they got here early, but already the walls of the defensive side have been just elevated. Double stacked towards Hookah. Nuki trying to just disrupt that as best he can, but he's given nothing on this.
And Mixwell's in full save mode.
Yeah, he's gone.
Like I said, I'm really curious as to how this looks. Yes, Nuki has a showstopper, whether or not we're going to see an attempt to at least guarantee the first blood, but ZETA have been so good in terms of this early control. Yeah. So good. And we haven't seen Nuki dialing in any pressure towards whether or not he's now adjusted towards A to make use of the paint shell and have that crunch in through the TP. But with Meadow being removed immediately, removes the snake bite, makes that crunch even harder.
I do want to see now, this is one of those adjustments that is a big indicator for me is the, not really depth of G2, but I do want to see how they address that issue now. Because this looks like they've, set a bit of a standard here for ZETA. They're like, okay, we've actually got some really good approaches on this. We need you now to adjust, right? So let's see what G2 do coming back into this. Is there an answer that they have already cooked up in their minds? Because again, having Hookah control this early on, just perfect for them.
For free.
Yeah.
Which is right.
And that's the timeout.
Yeah.
It has to be addressed.
Absolutely agree with this one. Whether or not the answer is digging a little deeper for G2.
Could be.
Again, they're not really gaining anything in terms of committing 3 towards being that previous round. It just got completely ripped away from them. So whether or not now, the site they're going to commit 3 towards, they're a little more proactive in forcing ZETA a little further back.
This, I guess, is when you get that bonus of kind of leading the by the reins to an extent, right? Is that you get to determine the next move for yourself. Okay, when do we adjust then? Because let's say they address this, where's that weak point then going to open up for us now? It's you get to kind of be the one to determine the next step for yourself. So for ZETA, they do have a little bit of wiggle room on this for me, that they can now potentially look elsewhere if they want to, if they feel as though the address towards that maybe hookah presence is something that they have to, you know, adhere to, or are they going to still test it? It's going to be interesting now back and forth between these two teams of how they start building back into this.
Sure, Depp actually recovering the operator the previous round. Happy to make that his weapon of choice for the next round. Whether or not this means that actually ZETA are going to slow things down a little bit here, almost in anticipation after this timeout that G2 might try something. Yeah. They might actually try and push out a little bit. See, eyes go towards Depp. He's actually positioned towards Market just now. But previously we did see him posted up when Mixwell did that tour de force previously on A short. He was the man to hold down that push. ZETA is 5, going to stack up towards 8. Just one member towards Showers. You see the pings out, yeah, G2 looking to get aggressive.
Yeah, but I think it's the same on the other side. ZETA aren't taking their time, and a quick TP and a quick rotation going to come through as well. Going to cut off Sugar Zero, and that's going to be half of this map now theirs, but the divide goes through as well. So Mixwell looking for a pixel out of place, but eats the flash. Has to fall away to safety and relinquish some of this. Nuki's still trying to exist in those showers, but are they going to fully commit to this right now, ZETA? This is on a knife's edge. Oh, they are, okay. Plant going to go down, Rez comes up. Divide still holding the safety for now as the paint shell comes in.
That's actually got his ult, but he's backed all the way away from the site. Now the wall being broken here.
I'm waiting to see when that comes through as well. Timing is everything. If G2 get the timing right, there's so many different angles to be worried about here. Lad's going to catch it though. That's great work. ZETA just put that foot down. Unreal presence. Crow still holding on the side. Doesn't get caught by the flash. Easily got this one. As Laz has got his back and out. Meno presented the unthinkable and unwinnable. I don't know how they kept composed in that.
They weathered the storm after exactly what we're expecting from G2, which is them being a little more proactive. They dig deep in showers, initially find everything they need to. I think they catch Sugar Zero actually in astral form, putting up that cosmic divide. He falls. And actually, even after then, it doesn't feel comfortable for ZETA on the way in. Oh. I was almost questioning it there with Laz, with the ultimate up. You almost feel like, yeah, stay on site. If things get a little dicey, you can ult in towards lamps, maybe hold on to default with the ult, but he actually catches him over on that really late lurk. On the back of the TP, actually to crunch showers.
They've quelled the money, humbled it almost instantly.
Except for Nuki.
Nuki's always got a gun.
Nuki's full by round.
Nuki's
just always has a Vandal.
And look at it, but Crow9 on the other side, sitting patiently waiting for this, knowing that Nuki would be tempted, beckoned, called to this and spotted. Crow though doesn't particularly win out in that first fight, and Nuki's going to have to back away now.
Immediately the response is there with Zero investing some util towards site. Meadow though, he's got to be careful because Ken's already got here. He's got all the information on the back of this audio queue, and the Viper's Pit this time around invested pretty deep in lamps.
Yeah, very deep in lamps. Actually cuts off CT as well. Now where is that spike going all of this? You have to really go down. They need to secure a little bit of safety, and 10 is desperate to do that, but he loses the fight.
It's not pretty.
No, Hoodie's still holding the line, and Laz, temptation, he wants to walk through it. Catch him! Oh my
Wait,
word,
what?
Hoodie, how? How are you hitting that? As Depp, Crow, and Sugar Zero not going to be happy with this as Nuki. Oh, he wants to go back in the timing. Sugar Zero must have just seen the barrel peek through and then took the timing just right. Spike now down, but the numbers do favor G2 in this. And getting a couple of rifles to boot. The spray not good enough to make more than one. Leaving Depp and Sugar Zero the only two standing bastions here for ZETA. The wrap coming in. Footsteps heard, the wall about to drop, and now there's problems. Depp can't do it. Avova's found him. It's all on Sugar Zero now in a 1v3. It's done. Hoodie gets the punish, and we're back all even. This game is coming down to the wire.
Hoodie, man. I mean, the first, it wasn't pretty at all from 10. But to then come through and find Laz inside his own Viper's Pit, it's just insanity. Yeah, 10's just relying on a lucky shot with strafing back and forth, but wow. And just a pixel out of place there, finds the final kill. What a round from Hoodie.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, Bren even comments on this pivotal in the first half as well, in terms of keeping G2 in it. All tied up 10 apiece now. Mixwell operator back on the board. Depp actually considered one. Considered one.
10-10, and we go back into it. Similar scenes over towards Hookah. Have to now give it up after the back of the flash. Could pull the rotation in, but not just yet. Quick work though, a lot of presence now shown. Hoodie's got to know there's a lot more players here. Depp eats the flash. Look at the little set piece in play, but the slow's going to keep him at bay. Depp, unpunished, Seekers come in, has to force the spray, and a lot of utility exchanged over towards Octagon, but no one really to make much of it just yet.
Nuki a little bit stuck now. ZETA can actually slow things down and try and pressure this. Is Laz considering coming to the TP? Yeah, they're just trying to tag that vulnerable here, and they're desperate to clear Nuki because this should be a freebie.
Yeah. And no one else G2 can really bail him out. They can't do anything about this. I'm looking at Laz for this lurk, and it looks like Mixwell's going to reevaluate this and going to go back for a second check. Post himself up. The box! Peek above, so close. And there's the reveal. Tens found Nuki. Meadow with the trade out though finds Laz, but there's still 4 players present towards this B side of things, so it is a 4v2 essentially on this B site, but 28 seconds to go.
That's a very late Viper's pit.
Okay.
On short from Meadow. Again, it's not going to matter too much because ZETA semi-committed here, but Avova will find the first spike down.
Crossfire.
Oh, it's perfect.
Nothing to dissuade it, nothing to break it, and you're right, the smoke coming up on Hoodie and Avova perfectly in combination, just pulling them to pieces. It's 11 for G2.
In terms of ultimates, not much available here. ZETA will be able to pull together the purchase regardless, but this was so well played. Yeah, Hoodie just showing at the perfect time. A couple of crisp shots as well. G2 actually now find themselves back in the driving seat, 1 round ahead of ZETA. Again, there will be something to work with for the next round. Showstopper potentially to offset that purchase, but Depth with an operator now.
Oh, the aggression. This has been a little bit of a back and forth between the two to an extent.
It's always been Depp here. It's always been a little bit of a bait actually for Laz.
Oh, and the pick still is for Mixwell. Gets Laz and the trade out on the other side as well. You're going to have Nuki punishing Sugar Zero. Yes, eventually there was a trade over towards Hookah, but numbers disadvantage. But look at this rotation. So you've got Mixwell heading towards the B site, while they're kind of peeling back towards A here. This is a lot of pressure now put into the hands of Meadow.
And Mixwell still got that trap online here. Actually, the Viper Wall does cut it off, but Depp now creeping closer and closer with this operator. Desperate for a pick to find an opening here for ZETA. The Spike's heading back towards B. Avova's still got his paranoia as well, so he can slow this down on contact. No way. 10 can charge it down if he cancels.
Timing.
Yes, he does!
10. Perfect place. Hoodie, though, still standing, still holding, and still spotting more players. Tries to do what he can, become the turret himself, but he does get taken down by Crow, but supports him! And Mixwell gets a 2 for 1. Doesn't need the discount. They are rolling in it. 12 rounds now on the board. G2 about to break some hearts, but what a game.
And actually, Showstopper burnt up by 10, which was something that could have been put into use here. We'll have to see exactly how it happens. And Mixer actually, he's had a few abysmal timings here, but this one absolutely crucial. Finds 2 freebies. G2 now on the brink of closing this series out after a heroic effort from ZETA, I gotta say. This has been so neck and neck.
It's not over until it's over, and I think we've seen that ZETA
we learned
can
that
push,
yesterday.
right?
Yeah.
Like we know these guys can dig deep, and they really have to. They have been presented a very tough puzzle in front of them, right? This is one where it's like, hey guys, okay, you had that great turnaround before, do it again. Find it now against G2. Find that depth. Somehow draw that out, because it is not easy. I mean, Ten's had a blinding game. Depp as well. Laz, every single one has been doing their job. But on the other side, you've had Hoodie having a blinder. You've had Mixwell being ever present. It's been a very good look from G2.
I mean, I've got to say, it's been a quiet map from Nuki.
Yes, it has been.
To be honest, I mean, again, right to just focus on the numbers, but to see this disparity in the kill count, these Hoodie and Mixwell leading with 24 and 23, as you said, Nuki down on 11 kills, and again, there's a deeper story there in terms of the value from the utility and whatnot, but it's been, I don't want to say absent from Nuki, but certainly not as prevalent as he's been previously.
And Nuki's highs, when it comes to it, can be excruciating for other teams. You know, the ceiling that he can hit is unreal.
What a time for Hoodie to step up and steal the show, honestly. He's had some highlight moments.
You couldn't ask for a better time to find that form. ZETA, you got anything in the tank? Now is the time to try and rekindle that fire that you had before. Find that form, or G2 do everything that they need to, and it's going to be Mixwell with the start, going to clear and find 10. Trade comes in, but it's a fight towards long, and Avova holds his ground. 4v3 now, favor to G2.
The next step is for ZETA. Actually, Sugar happy to swing on through here and punished once again. Mixwell landing every shot necessary. ZETA now just comes down to Crow and Laz. A 2v4 presented. G2 stacked up here, there's 3. And Nuki's got the operator on the other side, so they can hold it. Actually, Mello drifted away.
Yeah, they've hit the brakes. They have full faith in Mixwell on this one, and rightly so. This guy has become the monster that we know he could be. And he waits. 47 seconds is all he has to wait. Flash comes in, he knows where they are. Eats the flash, though. Forced off the angle. And now presented a possibility, a chance for them to move forward. And another flash to hand, you can see it, but they don't opt to utilize it for now. 34 seconds here. ZETA being given nothing. You can see the absolute discipline
30 seconds
on
left.
G2, barrel shown. This one now knows. Oh, the timing! The timing! He still gets it! He's just gonna hold this till the very end of it, and there it is! Mixwell delivers the final blow.